Welcome to 360-degree show hosted by Transcontinental Times. Today we will talk about past and present of belly dance. I'm glad to have the international belly dancer Banu based in Ibiza. She was one of the most important promoters of Oriental dance in Spain. Thank you so much for being with us for accepting my invitation.
Nice. Good morning. It's very nice you invite me. I'm very happy to be here today with you and with all the public.
Very nice. This year you are celebrating your 40 years working in Oriental dance. That's amazing. That's time life. How did you discover this passion?
Okay, I have to say something first of all. I think it's in my roots. Part of my family from side of mom, it comes from Egypt. And although if did not know this up to maybe 7 or 8 years old, I think it was already there, this passion for this music, for the food, for this culture. But I really discovered Oriental dance, in a serious way. Many years later, I always loved dance. I was born dancer, and all my childhood, I had really two great doubts: to be a nun or to be a dancer. So I think,
Oh,
in
really?
reality, yes. So I think I joined in my life the two things because the Oriental dance or the dance generally is also a spiritual path. So
Yeah.
when I find out about really my passion, I really discovered the two things at once. So it was many years later. I was a model, and always I dance, as I told you. And at one point in my life, I see that this kind of music, which was discovered by chance. I had a meeting with two American girls, very nice. They were very hippie. I was a young girl, and they gave me one day present a cassette, a music cassette. And on one side was a magical music, so dreamy. It was Omar Khorshid, routine. Maybe the young girl, they don't know, but it was really somebody very special at the time. And on the other side, there was a dancing class. And there was an Arabic woman who was giving rhythm and certain instruction like right, left, right. Like, and I didn't know if she was playing the zils, so I didn't know if she was playing the zils or moving a hip. So I would practice both. Okay, this was fun. Few months later, I met my husband. He's from the Middle East, and he used to play darbuka. So from this
Oh,
moment, I really start to get into it. But of course, I was not yet to thinking I become a professional dancer, because from this fun to be professional is different. But I remember that on a trip on the way back on a trip to India with my little baby, it was really a few months old. We stopped in Israel, and in this day, at the airport, we get a newspaper, and on the front page, there was written that one famous Egyptian dancer, now retired, she was opening a school in Tel Aviv. So instead to be there for a few days and just visit the country, I discovered my first dance teacher. The next day, I was already at her home. I had to cross the whole town 1 hour to go to her apartment. And she saw me. She put the music on. I remember it was Misrelu, like yesterday. And I improvised. And she told me, you have a lot of talent and you have your body very supple. Now you need technique and you have to learn how to be a professional. So for 1 month there, in my beginning, this dancer, I want to make a parenthesis. This dancer was a great dancer. She was the first dancer of the ballet directed by Mohammed Khalil in the Balloon Theater. And she had been working with Najaf Fouad, and she has been working all over Egypt. So she had a lot of mastering with the dance. And I remember one of the first things she told me when I started to take class, the first thing she told me, said, the Arabic people, they don't like to see people working on the stage. They like to enjoy, to have fun. And this is true,
Yes.
if you don't enjoy, you cannot. Anyway, I crossed the whole town every day with this bus up and down. At the time, I remember I paid $50 for 1 hour. I'm talking about almost 40 years ago
Wow,
for
that was super
private.
expensive.
It was super expensive, the private classes, and that was my beginning. Of course, I started to go into it like crazy. I was practicing night and day. Although I had a small baby, I wake up before him in the morning to practice. So, and then for some time, I went back to her. And in this time also, I started to discover that there was famous stars in Egypt, that there was a lot of interesting things going on. And after 2 years, I met another teacher, which was Mohammed Chokri, which he really was helping me in this moment to take out my soul in the dance. So this was my beginning, and then it's many, many things from
Yes.
this days. Yeah.
Yeah, Shukri Mohammed was very famous in Spain. Many teachers, no, nowadays have learned with him. He was a reference,
Yes,
big
he was a
reference.
reference. He's been my colleague and friend in life and stage. It's been wonderful. But the meeting with him, it started to be in, I think, in 83. And at this time already I had like 2 years classes, but it was very important because I had a lot of technique, a lot of Egyptian training. You know how is it, like first
Yes.
ballet, and this was very fantastic, and always I will be very grateful. But I was very shy. I was very used to be in front of a camera because my profession before was a model, but to dance and master new things in front of public. And I remember the second year, my teacher, she sent me to dance in a big place in Yafo. This was my first experience. 40 musicians in the back.
Wow.
I saw a scene with the costume handmade from me, and this music of Farid El Atrash behind, and the huge place they call Casino there, where family go and eat and everything. So there I was thrown to the lions, but I made it. I made very nice choreography with veil and everything. The next day I remember that my teacher phoned the owner of the place. I said, "How was my student?" I say, "She's very beautiful. She was very good, but she's not sexy because in that time the women they were very big, very and very kind of vulgar. I was so thin, so
Yeah,
etheric,
graceful
but
and
but it was okay. I mean, it was also for me interesting to see how it was working in this time in the Middle East.
yes, sure. That's
Okay.
another world, another world.
This, this was my first performance. Well, then after in 83, I met Chokri, and with Chokri, I discovered a lot of things, and I had a lot of fun in his classes. He's fantastic. Is a great, great master. We will talk after about, because there are many important things with him in my career. And in 84, that was very fantastic. I was invited with a group to go to a festival in Cairo.
Uh-huh.
Uh, the festival in Cairo was not the fashion like now. There was very few foreigner, especially American, which goes there to make their costumes and everything. But a festival was not used because festival was something else. So I went from Germany with a group of ladies, and before I went to Germany, I received a call from one of my students, which was living there, say, "Please, Noor, come a few days before because we are going to watch two fantastic dancers in Germany, in Köln." In this moment, there was a very big exploit with Oriental dance in all Germany. It was very new, so they invite me there. And the first night, I went to a beautiful Persian nightclub, and I discovered there a new world, the cabaret, the live orchestra, and everything. And the landlord, at the end of the show, he saw me dancing because the dancer, she invited me and said, "Please, I want you to work here." I said, "I'm sorry, I'm living in Ibiza. I'm going to Cairo. If one day I come back, I'll tell you. So I left to Cairo with this beautiful lady, Didlinde Kalkutli. The new people, they don't know, but she did a lot of for the dance in the whole world. And there I arrived to Cairo and was completely a new story. My first teacher there was Asana Fifi and Hoda. Hoda, she was at the time young girl like us, you know, she
Oh,
was
wow.
helping and was very beautiful. And then they invite me to dance the last night with the orchestra of Asana Fifi, and I had no costume because I went with the group and they brought us to the house of Soher Saki. She was not there, but the mama was there. And all these people around, there were doctors, I don't know, people who work in the bank. I was just a young girl, dancer at the beginning, you know, with the baby at home. And I had no money to buy all this expensive costume. And I speak with the mama of Soher Saki and say, I don't have costume. I cannot dance tonight. And she said, come, come, come. And she gave me a green costume from her daughter, which was enormous for me because I was 40 kilos. And I danced in the night with the green, the veil. I put it here on the bra because it was too big for me. And I danced. And I asked, please, I make a small dance. Gamil Gamal from Farida. Well, when they start to play, they would not finish anymore. I knew, I mean, I had only 3 years of dancing. I was not, they loved it. They loved it with me going up and down, front and back. They loved it. And that was my first experience, was really amazing. And was my start, you know. Okay. And
Who can you say that who were the teachers that marked you apart from Shokri Mohammed that you have talked us about? Who were the teachers that have
okay,
a special?
okay, of course, this is my first teacher. And then there was a very important, few years later, very important encounter in my life with Fatih Andrawis. Actually, he was a very special man. He had his own folklore group, and I stayed with him long time in Cairo taking classes. At this time, he used to prepare Egyptian women for dancing cabaret. But of
Mhm.
course, he was coming from the folklore, and so I could learn with him both things. A part of the 2 hours, almost of classic ballet you used to give before the Oriental dance class. So he was very important because he polished, you know, my dance. It was more ready for the professional world. But in this time already, my experience was very intense because, as I told you before, when I come to Germany, they offer me work, and I did come back to Germany, and my career went so fast. You won't believe. I started to work there because I had a magical meeting with a greater dancer. Her name is Shahrazad, not the actual
Uh-huh.
Shahrazad, Shahrazad from Germany. She was mythical dancer at the time, and she helped me a lot to come into the scene. So there I start to dance for the family of the royal Persian, all these intellectual who had to go for Turkish, for Arabic, for the embassies. In this time, the embassies, the Arabic embassies in Germany used to make enormous party, and big company like from all over the world, like Panasonic, and this, they paid a lot of money for event, you know.
Yeah. How lucky, no, to live those times. This
Yeah,
year, you premiere the Golden Era Belly Dance show in Ibiza, which must be very difficult to organize, no, in these COVID times. I applaud your your yeah, because this is very difficult at this moment and
yes,
inspiring for other artists. Could we say that you have close, not close, but like you have come close circle because talking about the past times and all the things that you have lived after. How was the show?
yes. Yes, of course. In this show, which was planned 1 year before, and then for the COVID, we succeed to do it in December. Yes, it's a little bit, you know, like a flashback of the things that I'm not from the golden era, but I have seen in life dancers like Samia Gamal in the last years dancing. And of course, we grow up with these movies, we grow up with these dancers. So it was a lot of inspiration. And it was, I think, in the right time to show the people that the dance in this time, it was a different story. It was not so frenetic. It was not stress. The femininity was very, very exquisite and not vulgar. So this was a work which I enjoyed very much. Actually, I have to say, for me, it was one of the easiest work I put on scene.
Yeah, and we have some questions coming. People is asking how difficult belly dance is as compared with another forms of dancing.
How difficult? I
Yeah,
think,
it is more difficult. Which is the difference of
first
difficulty?
of
Which,
all, it depends by the attitude
mm,
of the person, because some people physically they're different. You know, some people they are more stiff, so maybe for them tango will be better. Some people like Latin women, they are more supple. For them, it's more easy. So the difficulty is always relative to your body condition and your training.
hmm, yeah. Which qualities you will highlight in the dancer of olden era times compared with the nowadays dancers?
Okay, this is for me, it's something very important, I have to say. I don't care what people think about, but this is my opinion. I think that in this time, the dancers, they were each one something special. Each one developed her virtues, each one developed the dance by her style, by her person. So it was very appreciated the fact that each one was very special and each one was liked maybe in the same way. You could not compare. You would not say Taya Carioca was better than Samia Gamal or Naima Akif. You like all of them because they were different. The thing of today, it's mostly, not everybody for sure, they are great talents, mostly they want to look like this one or like that one. They have idols, dancers, and they try to imitate and to resemble to them. That is the difference. So this use exclusivity in the dance, in the style, not only in the dancing style, in your look, in the choice of the costume, it's lost. Now we have many, many, many clones of different famous dancers. I
Yes.
repeat, not everybody because they are great dancers, which I love to watch them, but unluckily it's like this. Sometimes it looks like if you see one, you have seen all of them.
Yeah, and that is especially in contest or in shows are is a little bit boring.
Yes, of course. You are
Until you see
younger
some light and you say,
and you see more than me for sure.
yeah, yeah. Um, okay, we were talking about this, no? But when I was living in Egypt, I was very surprised because people doesn't know the currently dancers. They remember that old one that you were mentioning, like Samia Gamal, Suhir Saki, Tahia Carioca. They remember that is they are dead. They are not dancing anymore. So for me, it was very surprising that people doesn't know who the new dancers are. I think also because of the persecution that dancers are having nowadays with political
Yes.
situation, is making this problem. Only maybe people know some star that is appearing in a video clip. That's what they know. That for them, that's the dancer, the nowadays dancer. But we know not maybe that's not the proper dancer. So how can foreigners help to the proper foreigners, not the national dancers, to improve the situation accordingly to your point of view?
Okay. Yes, you're right. Absolutely. The normal people in Egypt, they stop uh, about knowing about dancers to Saki and Najwa Fouad, maximum, They
Yeah,
don't know others. Like you say, maybe some young one, they see some nice girl in video clip and they know their name. But this is for them is the end of the dance. So the question is that really the end of the Egyptian dance? I think that what happened is that there was a time which of course, for the condition in Egypt, in a Muslim country already, the dance is difficult. And nowadays, the situation is much worse because before, the few foreigners who work in Egypt, they were very proud and they respect the value of this country, and they were really into the culture. Nowadays, there is a lot of foreigners who are working in Egypt and they are really bringing, from my point of view, the dance very, very down. Meanwhile, other dancers, they have fought so much for being appreciated and to show that the Oriental dance was not something vulgar or something dangerous. In the other side, we have the counterpart of all these foreigner girl, which bring the dance only like a sexual expression, not
Yes.
sensual, but sexual. With their movements, with their even in their normal day life. When they put something on Instagram, they don't show an image of elegant or respectable woman. They just give the worst image that a dancer can give. So I don't know what the foreigner dancer, which are real dancer, what they can do, because we have these two things very extreme. But I think what is happening through, for instance, the festivals in Egypt, when a foreigner girl come and express herself with dignity, with a beautiful, I would say, outfit, and with her knowledge about music and dance, it's it's an help in a way. It does not help the working Egyptian working scene, but it brings something which shows that is maintaining this value of this culture. And I don't think what else can be done, because this is depends very much how the world goes. And if what they want in certain people, in certain conditions, is to have this sexual object, we can't stop this. We
Yeah,
cannot give good example when we go there and we dance there.
it's difficult. I remember when I was working in Egypt, I have a manager traveling with me for presenting me to different places, hotels and restaurants and these kind of places where we are dancing. And I remember to a place, and we were arriving without telling them, no, what is going on. So we were arriving, and there was another dancer about to go on light. So he was telling, no, you have to see her. You have to see her. She's dancer. She's a dancer. She's. I was like, I was saying no, but she's dancing.
She's that, yeah,
I was
exactly.
like,
Yeah,
hello, what is suppose that I have to do? What I'm doing is dancing, no? What? So that's
yeah,
maybe the point, no? That what these people is contracting, what what is applauded by the people is not exactly what it is deserved to show. So
yes,
maybe if the girls are accepting some conditions, they are over making sexual their dance, is because the audience that they are having is
exactly. It's
maybe they
this
are
kind
not
of.
dancing in the proper place, no?
Exactly. And this is always the same point. It depends who you are and what choice you make in your life and where you want to be. This is it's been always, it's not new. But the reference of the Oriental dance, I think, it's today also in Europe and in another country, we have much possibility to see really good dance. I mean, I consider the girls who do their proper job like really ambassador of the Oriental dance, because they show to the world this dance. And as many people did before, well, not so many, but many people like Mahmoud Reda show the whole world the folklore of Egypt. That dance is not only to shake the hip. There are also a lot of girls which dancing around, new dancers, young, which they bring this art really like a art, not like just stupid gymnastic. So the good and bad is always. I just would like to say something to the new coming dancers. I mean, they're really the girl who want to be professional. today it's difficult because it's not like in my time. We had so much work, so much jobs, so much money invested. I dance for kings, I dance for chief of state, I dance in any situation like everybody would dream. And maybe today there is also some situation, but they are very sporadic because the world is going in another way. And there are millions and millions of dancers everywhere, any kind, whatever. So the most of them, they combine other jobs with dancing. But even so, you can find the time to cultivate yourself, to go to the roots, to try to be unique, as I say, instead waste your time, watch video of 2000 dancers and to try to be like her, to cultivate your own style, to find something inside which is your attitude, your work. And there are so many possibilities. I did the cabaret, I did the nightclub, I did the restaurant, but then I discovered the theater, for instance, and this fantastic way to for instance, to let to the Occidental people to know about this culture and to discover how to penetrate to them, because maybe the idea they had it was only legs and boobs, you know, and you bring them to a theater and you show them a new fantastic world. You show the folklore dance, you can play with so many things. So as I find my way, each one, it has the potential to find his own way as a professional dancer. But please, try to find really your style. Try to not to give yourself cheap, not to be there in any cost, you know, give yourself for nothing. Just be respected and let that everybody respect you. That is the most important, I think, for a dancer. Because only like this you will be remembered, you will be appreciated, and you will be unique. So that's what my advice to the young one.
That's very nice and very appreciate this advice for young dancers, young artists, and I'm sure they will appreciate. I'm also sure that you are thinking on some new projects. Tell us about which are your new projects coming.
Okay, I am a machine, you know, I never stop. I dream with dancing. Of course, my energy is not the same like 40 years ago, but this year, inshallah, by the end of the year, I will celebrate my 40 years on stage, which I
Amazing.
really hope it will happen because you never know. So this is one of the things which I'm cooking now. Meanwhile, I have several shows. I mean, I'm talking about theater shows with different theme, you know, because I have experimented at so much stuff in during the years, and I start from the folklore. I have a show with folklore. Each shows that I had during the year, it has a thread, you know, a thread through with a different theme. So I can offer always many different things. But of course, for the new next show, it will be something new, and maybe it will be something which will be a concentration of their experience of all this year. I hope so, and I hope it can be done because of situation. Right now, it's very difficult to make plans because, as you know, it's not only local, it's everywhere. Like I move a lot in Germany or England or other country you can forget about. So that is the difference we have today, nowadays, for everybody who is in this field. We cannot make really plans. We have to go day by day. But I never stop. I continue always to work on myself 2 hours a day. Soon, inshallah, I can start again with my classes, my group. So, and lately, I think around May, we can start already to make new shows in
Yes,
Ibiza.
because you told me you cannot give classes now in Ibiza
No,
is forbidden now.
2 months, yeah. Meanwhile, others places in Spain were closed, we were open, and then it come reverse. So now maybe next week, inshallah, we can open again. And by May, if everything is okay, we can start to have shows, and I have things standby. And
Inshallah.
inshallah, I hope
Yeah.
I can move at least in Spain this year. I mean, my dream also, one of the things I love to go to the Crazy Night Festival. which you also is.
We will love to go to Egypt
Yeah,
again.
yeah, I don't know if it will happen this year. This is in the hand of God, but this is one of the things that I would really love. If not this year, I will move in Spain because to go abroad is quite complicated, even in my, yes, because you need to do quarantine. And even if I have job or it's possible to do a show, I cannot stay 14 days in quarantine. Let's hope situation gets better.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. It was so nice to talk to you. I wish you have enjoyed also, and our people has enjoyed this interview. And wishing you a lot of success for your new coming events.
Thank you.
And see you soon with new projects.
Yes, thank you very much. And I hope you too, you will have a lot of success and things will get better also for you. And big kiss. Thank you.
Bye to all of you. Thank you so much for watching us. Bye.
Ciao.